What's up, guys? I'm shooting this video to share some difficult news. I was never planning on making a post or announcing this. Definitely never planning on making a video. Um, but given what's kind of transpired over the last few weeks, has kind of led to the making of this video. So bear with me. I'm gonna get through this the best that I can. But unfortunately, about a month ago, at the beginning of October, um, we had to make the impossible decision of saying goodbye to Preacher. Now, for those of you that know me, Preacher. He was my shadow, man. So much more than a dog to me. So many people met him and fell in love with him over the years. Coming into my facility, he was always there. He was our greeter. Greeted everybody at the door. But unfortunately, long story short, it was completely unexpected. Nothing leading up to this that tipped us off that anything was wrong. But unfortunately, Preach had a tumor at the base of his ear. And it was deep in there, and it had ruptured, and it compromised the main artery, feeding blood to his ear. And and they told us this. It's like the air was just sucked out of my world. Just everything went silent. And as soon as they told me, I knew what was coming. Right. They gave us two decisions, two choices. Impossible choice, but it was a clear one. The first option was sending him off to a specialist to try to get it surgically removed. But given the location and the size, they were going to have to remove his ear. And even still, he's got cancer, so there's no telling if and when or where it'll pop up next. And then the other option was exploring end of life. And like I said, is impossible, but it was also clear. Preach was too good to us to put him through that. And his quality of life was the most important thing to me. So, in a moment's notice, our world went from completely normal to never the same. We luckily found a service that came out to the house to do it. They were able to wrap his ear and pack it the best they could. And we made those last few hours with him the best that we could, lots of ice cream, lots of ice cream eating. He got to try chocolate for the first time. And it was the best it could have been given the situation. But it was hard, man. Anybody that's gone through it, it's the most impossible thing. You're just never ready to say goodbye. And so many people that that did know that are close to us, just the love and support and gifts of love and everything that were sent just meant the world to us, and we really truly greatly appreciate it. But the reason for this video is what came of this. While losing Preach, it's the hardest thing that we've ever done and had to go through. Some good, hopefully, is going to come out of this, because in our time of grief, in our time of just reeling, trying to recover the best we could, just in the deafening silence following those weeks of his passing, we heard the need, right? We heard the calling of trying to give back and to help, right? Preach enriched our lives so much, and I wanted to give back, right? While I was just absolutely destroyed, and still not whole, still just so grateful, right? I did nothing to deserve 9 years with him, and I was blessed to have that, and so grateful for it, and like I said, wanted to show that, right? Wanted to show that appreciation and give back. Wanted to make a donation to his rescue in his honor and make it like an annual donation every year on his birthday. And just that thought process got me thinking of, we can do so much more, right, than just make a yearly donation. Nicole has already, volunteered and been volunteering at dog shelters, helping these dogs, helping get them exposure to help get them adopted. And then me wanting to make this donation just got the wheels turning, right? And long story short, we decided to make a nonprofit. So, Nicole's Instagram account that she had been using to help these dogs get exposure, to help get them adopted, it's called Preach for Pups, right? Where we are giving a voice to the voiceless. We're advocating for these dogs that have been mistreated and just forgotten and left behind. And we're going all in on it, man. Her going to these shelters, we see the need. Some of these shelters are so understaffed because it's volunteers only, right? They only get, it's strictly off of donations. So many of them are lacking resources. They don't have enough food. They don't have enough blankets and bedding for these dogs, right? So yes, they get rescued from terrible situations, but sometimes, a lot of times, these shelters that they end up in aren't a ton better, right? And the quality of life at these shelters is tough. They're rationing food. They're sleeping on hard concrete floors. They don't have the manpower to get them out and walking them enough. And I just couldn't imagine Preacher having to spend a single day longer than he would ever had to in a place like that, right? So that's what Preach for Pups is all about. We want to raise funds and gather resources to, yes, help these dogs get rescued from the terrible situations they're in, but then also improve their quality of life once they get put into these shelters. So we want to raise money, raise resources to help provide the shelters the help that they need, man. Getting them more food for the dogs, getting them bedding and blankets and medical costs for these dogs that are coming from these terrible situations, improving their quality of life in the shelters, and then also getting them the exposure that they need once they're there to help get them placed in a home, right? To give them their second chance. But ultimately, to also just enrich the lives of the people that are opening their hearts and their homes to these dogs. Because that is what Preacher did for us. He enriched our lives more than I could ever explain. And our world was so much better because of him. And if we can start giving that back, one person, one family at a time, that's going to make the world a better place as well. And not to mention, it's helping these dogs that did nothing to deserve, the treatment that they've gotten. And still, even still, they are still so loving and gentle and caring and compassionate, and will still be loyal and devoted to anybody that cares enough about them to give them a chance and to show them some love. So that's what Preach for Pups is all about, man. We want to start to help out in this huge process that is just so understaffed, under-resourced. We want to raise what we can raise to help the situation from beginning to end, man. And doing it all in honor of our beloved Preacher. So that's it, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I got through that better than I was expecting. But it's been tough, man. It's been very, very tough. We miss him dearly. But just want to thank everybody again. And lastly, if you met Preacher, if you love Preacher, if he made any kind of impact on you, if I have ever put out content or helped you in any way, and you want to show even the smallest sign of appreciation, go to our website, preachforpups.org, and make any donation that you are able to make in honor of Preacher, or just in any way to say thank you and to help out in this process. I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean the world to us, because this is a long road, a long battle that's never going to end, but we're willing to take it head on and just all the support that we can get from anybody out there. We greatly appreciate you. And ultimately this helps us kind of stay connected to Preach in some ways, and just honor the legacy that he left and the impact that he left on us. So thank you everybody for bearing with me and getting through this video. Check it out, preachforpups.org. Thank you so much for all your support, all your love, and we'll see you soon, man.